on my bucket list that I didn't know was going to be there is to put a mixer inside of a soda tank.
Yeah. It looks like it would be under a dead body in like Leningrad. Like like somebody like pulls a rifle out of it, you know? It's fucking gnarly, but it's really good. It's an old Yamaha. Yeah. So I think that's probably a pretty good place to start the show if you're ready on the matter of our live show coming up just in a few days by the time people are listening to this.
Yeah. Yes, that is true. We are recording on Sunday night. It is May 3rd. I'm doing this. I'm going to try this again. This is Outdoor Cats episode 63, not last week when I said it was 63.
Yeah.
Department of Corrections. I goofed that up, but that's okay because now it's right.
Yeah, and for those of you that might be bad at math, like myself, that means that the last episode was 62. Because you have to go one back in time, and then... Yeah.
Yep, 63 minus 1. That's the way they used to teach it before they changed the math to woke. I don't know what they do now.
Yeah, now every answer is just iPad. It's 63 minus 1, iPad. Ask Gemini.
Ask Chat GPT. Exactly.
Log on your Chromebook and ask Gemini to solve that one. Oh, man. Yep, so we have a live show.
You do it, Bill.
We have a live show. It's coming up in 5 days. May 8th. The 8th of May. The 1 year to the day anniversary, I guess. Although anniversary is a rather cheery term for it. Of the Eureka Street Ice Raid. And that will be the subject of our first live show. Looking back on a year of just a really bad thing happening in Worcester, and then the political class freaking the fuck out and kind of showing who they are. But let's not get into that. That's the subject of the show. It's called Revisiting Eureka Street. Space is limited, and there's still a few tickets left, but there's not a lot. So if you're listening to this, you gotta get on there, get a ticket. You'll find the link in the description, and come hang out with us. May 8th at night. Starts at 6:30. Show at 7:30, probably. But definitely get there at 6:30. Hunchback Gallery, 75 Webster Street. All the proceeds are getting donated to Luce for them to do more direct support and observing and training of observers and all of that. So come on down. As they say in used car commercials, come on down.
And the price is right.
Oh yeah, right. Speaking
that's kind of the big one where they say it.
Yeah, you're right. I was having some comeuppance in real time right there. I was like, shit, that it really is from The Price is Right, not any used car commercial. That's a Berenstein Bear situation, because I picture a used car salesman saying that. Did you ever see the old Shane Gillis bit where he's a used car salesman at like a shitty used Toyota lot? Teenagers vandalize this car by spray painting ISIS on the hood of it. And he goes, "You see that?
No.
You see that? That's a load of crap. That's a load of crap." Oh God, it's really good. I gotta remember that to put that clip in. Another thing on the subject of used car salesmen, I think that we need to execute on one of my longest ideas soon, because this is how we do it. We publicly commit to doing ideas like it on the show, forcing us to do them, right? That's basically how the live show came about. the Worcester Walking Tour, the Museum of Bad Ideas. The premise being that downtown Worcester is one of the best museums in the country of bad economic development schemes, going back the decades, right? Sort of starting with 290, and then we can walk all around sort of every super block, explaining why it was a bad idea. We could do a whole tour of the AT&T building, the Odd. So,
yeah, all the vacant lots that used to be buildings before we had a demolition delay. Ryan Goslow loves to talk about how many of those buildings were there on a Friday and then gone on a Monday. Yeah, could do that. We can, Polar Park, obviously. We can show you where the pedestrian walkway between the hotel and the DCU isn't.
Sky Bridge.
The Sky Bridge, thank you for using its government name.
We should put up a plaque for the Sky Bridge. Here lies Sky Bridge.
We should.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. We could walk like diagonal through every private surface parking lot and feel how bad it feels to do that, like you're a criminal, and how much of that takes up how much of the landscape of the downtown.
Yeah, we should do it probably about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock on a nice hot day in like July, so that you get the full immersive effect too. You really feel the heat just radiating off of these heat sinks that we have all over the place.
Yep.
Where there used to be buildings and could be buildings again, or could just have some grass, maybe. But yeah, I really like this idea of that we've got going here. It's reminds me of the I don't remember who it is, so I'm going to say it's Winston Churchill because he's as famous a drunk as any. But one of them said, "Always do sober what you said you do drunk. That'll teach you to keep your mouth shut."
Dude, I'd be dead.
Yeah, hard saying. Yeah, that's an aspirational goal for me.
That's horrible advice. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk out onto the highway. Yeah, that's great.
Speaking of live shows, I think we both saw one this past week. Who did you see and how was it?
Oh, Gilly Haha. Yeah, it was a good show. They do a really like tightly choreographed stage performance. It's sort of like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure meets Devo with Kate Bush singing. It was really cool. Definitely that band is gonna be really big. This is their first record they're touring on, and yeah, I'm seeing it got posted like Brooklyn Vegan did a live thing, kind of blowing up. It's their first tour. Where was the old TT the Bears? Sonya. We saw them at Sonya. It was a good time.
Oh, I didn't know there was. I didn't know that TTs had been replaced. It's been closed for a very long time, so I'm not surprised. But
Yeah.
that is cool. Yeah. Although I R.I.P. TTs.
Yeah.
Used to be a great Cambridge go find something to do weekend to pop in between there and the Middle East and see where your $5 to $10 cover was best spent.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's still pretty much like that, but yeah, I don't know. It's fine. You went to a gorgeous venue I saw on Instagram. What is that place called?
I did. I went to see Nate Smith, or the Nate Smith Trio, at Groton Hill Music Center, and the next time something there sparks my fancy, I'll shoot it your way. But Groton Hill is this crazy. It's a new place, and it's like a music school conservancy or conservatory or whichever one of those things is a music school. But then they have this performing arts venue. They have a big one and a small one. I haven't been to the small side yet, but yeah, it's fucking gorgeous, man. You drive up on this like beautiful, picturesque property, and there's this like crazy structure. It feels like I don't know. It feels like you're in the Great Gatsby or something. And then you go inside, and it's when you're in the venue, it's all wood inside. It feels like you're on. It feels like you're inside of a guitar, like a massive guitar.
That's sick.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful, but also like they built it for acoustics, and it sounds incredible in there. It's in Groton, obviously, and so the stuff that comes through, there's like maybe a quarter to a third of it that I'm interested in. It's mostly like older white people music, to put it the way that I think people will understand. But they get really good shows, especially in the summer. So yeah, I saw Sierra Hull there. This was my second show, I guess. And yeah, it was a very, very good show. I don't know. I'd never seen Nate Smith live before. I've seen videos of him live, but I wasn't sure. Like, one of my favorite live performances is when they recorded Fearless Flyers 4.
Oh yeah.
And he's the drummer on that album, and they recorded it live at Blue Note. Like, the recording is the album, and so I was like, man, maybe he was just like really going all out on that one, but no, he goes out all out all the time. It was really, really good.
So he had a band with him, or was it like a solo show?
No, he has. It was a trio. So he has like he tours with a ton of different bands, and like does session work with a bunch of different bands. He's in a bunch of units of music, but he has this trio. It seems like one of the guys has been in the trio for a while, and maybe one of them was new. But so it was him on drums, obviously, and then there was a guy on bass whose name was Cartoons. That's what he goes by. And there was a guy on piano and keys.
Cool.
Yeah, very, very good. They were both really excellent musicians as well. The guy on bass is the guy who plays bass on his new Nate Smith's new album, and wrote and arranged one of the songs, I think. Anyway, it was fantastic. Really, really great musicians. And I don't get to see a lot of jazz shows, and that's not 100. It's not the top of Erin's list to see a jazz show, but she knows who Nate Smith is through Wolfpack and stuff. So she was a trooper and came with me. I think she enjoyed it.
Yeah,
she didn't fuck her.
Jazz is it's not for everyone, but a good jazz drummer is one of the most impressive musician things you can be, in my opinion. My old roommate Tim Heatu, he teaches drums at EL Music, and he is a fantastic jazz drummer. He taught me a thing or two, literally one or two things. I took like 2 drum lessons from him when we were living together, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get decent at drums. No, shit is so hard. I'm not coordinated enough.
Yeah,
I can't do the tummy rub
absolutely
and
not.
Head pat. You got to be able to use all 4 limbs independently, and I can barely use one at a time.
Like seeing a guy like that live, it really it is amazing how precise a drummer he is, but also how you can be that precise and also have that much swing in your drums.
Yeah.
That's a skill. But yeah. Anyway, it was a very, very good show.
Pure hidden ego right there, swinging something hard, but just like locking in on it. That is the mark of a good drummer, not just jazz. But anyway.
Yeah. Go ahead. We can move on. We've got latency again today. Let's not fight that fight.
No, let's do a latency check. Ready?
Yeah, so people love this.
Speaking of drummers, 1, 2, 3. Holy shit. What's going on? Thank you, Charlie.
Is it really bad?
Oh, listeners will find this to be of intense interest, as I think you may as well, Chris. On the Worcester Reddit yesterday, I read a very helpful and useful little tip that if you call up Spectrum and you tell them, hey, I need to cancel my service, I'm switching to Starlink, they will double your speed for half the price. They will cut you a monthly rate that's half the price, and you'll go from a 500 or 600 megabytes per second package to a gigabyte per second.
Ooh.
Which means these fuckers know they're overcharging and are just waiting for people to individually call them on their shit.
This always used to be the old game. I used to play this game back when I had cable, which was a number of years ago. But yeah, this was the game. Is you'd move somewhere, you'd get an intro rate, and then they'd jack your price up, and then you'd call them and tell them you were going to cancel, and then they would give you a discount rate for 6 more months, and you would just have to do this like every 6 months. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it worked with just internet, because that's usually what they would try to do, is be like, oh, we can give you a better deal if you get like 6 lines of cell service. And I'm like, I don't need 6 phones, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I just straight up don't need 6 phones. I don't need.
I'm starting to wonder if I need one damn phone.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of phones, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. As part of the show, we have a couple submissions already, but we are really looking for people to call in to our tip line. I'm going to put a little timestamp right here so I can go back later and look up what the number is. We're going to call our tip line boop, with a observation, a thought, an anecdote about how the events of Eureka Street on May 8th last year sort of changed what you knew and what you felt about the city. How did it make you feel? We want to get a nice representative sample, which I've been meaning to send the number to Fred Nathan. I want his thoughts. I want that motherfucker's thoughts for sure.
Absolutely.
Wonder how he's doing. Since we're not doing the stream that much anymore, I miss him.
I know. He's a guy you weirdly kind of miss until you have to be around him for more than 5 minutes, and then you adjust. I have the tip line number here, actually, unless it has changed. It has not, right?
No, it doesn't. It's one number, static.
Okay, it is 508-205-9520. And that is a secure, anonymous line. If you don't want us to know who you are, we won't. And neither will anyone else.
That's right. So call in, share some thoughts, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be a part of the program, part of the show. Our next recording, which is a live recording, just like Nate Smith. We're pretty much the Nate Smith of podcasters.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Like really tight, but establishing our own groove, with
what is latency really? Great example right here. What is latency really, except for swing?
Latency is when the computer smokes weed. Latency is when the computer listens to a lot of Jay Dilla and really, really feels the need to fucking just make it shitty on purpose, Yeah.
True that.
Latency is the swing of the computer. That's the computer expressing itself to us.
It's the computer letting you know that it's not just a machine, that it likes to smoke weed and listen to Jay Dilla.
Oh my god. Let's get into to our first topic here, Chris. I have a little clip show of the event from City Council last week. Sunday. It's ambiguous on a Sunday whether it's
Sunday is the end of a week. I will stand by this. So it was this week. It was earlier this week, of which this is the last day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a dog in the fight. I never know what day it is. I always have to look. So that works for me. But there are other people, they get kind of mad about that. They really do consider Sunday the first day of the week, which is just weird. It's like, why would you make the weekend like one last day, one first day? Doesn't make any sense. Like,
I have no idea.
It's two last days.
No, I think it's borderline satanic.
Yep. Oh, speaking of that,
and not in the cool way.
I had 2 Jesus freaks knock on my door today. Now, I live on the 3rd floor. We don't get a lot of door knockers of any kind. But
they came all the way up.
They came all the way up. And I had to tell them, sorry, not really a God guy, but I heard you and I thought about it. So you can report that back to whoever you're reporting back to. Cross this one off the list. You did great. I let one of these 2 17-year-old boys get maybe 2 words out before I said that. I felt a little bit like a fucking New Yorker about it, but I think it was warranted because I live on the 3rd floor. Don't be walking up all the way to the 3rd floor. Also, outside of my apartment door, there is a big sign that says "God hates Ralphs." From
that's right, there is.
When I covered that very real protest that happened outside of Ralph's for the haunted house attraction last year or the year before. So they walked up the stairs. They saw that sign, which is literally right next to the door, and they still were like, "Can we get you to go to church?" And I was like, there's just not a single way. I'm sorry. There's not one way that's happening. But you did good. You hustled for it. Yeah. It's
there's a way to interpret that sign, I guess, that could have made them think that they might have a live one on their hands. You've been like, oh, this guy's like a Westboro Baptist church guy. We just have to get him to go to the different church that doesn't like gay people.
Yeah, I thought it was earnest. Like, it's like I'm a professional paid protester for the religious right.
Exactly. Yeah. I always figure I'm doing those guys a favor when I just let them know right up front. I don't want to waste my time, but I also don't want to waste your time. And I promise you that's what this is going to be. I've had a long time to think about this, and my answer remains the same. It was funny when I had my house off of Adams Street, so on the east side, kind of up the hill from Shrewsbury Street. I lived at the end of a dead end street, and I lived on a hillside, so I had a pretty substantial amount of stairs to get to my front door, and I could see you coming, so I knew. So I never even answered the door for those people when I was in that spot. But I thought this was it was interesting to see the Mormons would not come up all the way to the end of my street and up my stairs, but the Jehovah's Witnesses would. So that's a point. It's a point for them.
Mormons are afforded a little bit more independent thought, I would say. Plus, they get to celebrate birthdays. So
it's true. It's true. It's a big one.
You know what I would do if I had a long walk like that? I'd pull an "Oh brother, where art thou?" I'd go, "You from the bank?" Shoot a 22 at their feet. Pa says I'm to shoot you. Pa says I'm to shoot anyone here from the bank. I killed this horse last Tuesday.
I think she's starting to turn.
I think she's starting to turn. So many lines from that. Just the best. The best. That's really, writing-wise, it's definitely the Coen Brothers' best movie.
Yeah. One of the most quotable movies ever made.
Oh, so funny.
One of the best soundtracks, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've religiously listened to that soundtrack. Okay. So, Chris, we're moving into topic number 1 here.
Yes.
Kate Toomeys, using the rhetorical framework, the rhetorical container of equity to explain how she came around from, at some certain undisclosed prior point, supporting a chicken ordinance to not being able to support a chicken ordinance now on the hour of its vote up or down, yay or nay time. She can't support it. And you know why? Because it's an equity issue. Let's roll the tape. All right, you can see this?
For it, I've been against it.
Yes.
You can hear it a little bit?
Also, yes.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chair, I've been on both sides of this argument. I've been for it, I've been against it. And for me, the biggest issue is equity. The majority of people who have the yardage and the land and the ability and to have the space and for these chickens, and most people who are living in the inner city do not have that. And if you're talking about food equity and all that stuff, those folks that people are saying, oh, but what about the people who just want to have the eggs for to help feed their family and all of that stuff? I get it. My heart breaks for people, but you know what? It's a health issue. It's a health issue in terms of making sure that the community is healthy, that you're not inviting diseases. And we know that happens, right? If you don't take care of the chickens right. But the point is, it's an equity issue. Most of the people who would be able to have chickens would be people who are middle class and upper middle class, who have the land and the ability to do that. And that's not fair. It's not equitable. And I think I get the arguments on both sides, but I just don't think it's where we need to go. I think that we need to focus on things that we've been trying to accomplish. The rental registry. We need to focus on things like that.
The rental
we need
registry.
To focus on the bread and butter issues that we need to do running this city on a day-to-day basis. And adding chickens and all that comes with that, with the inspections and making sure that, they're not interfering with other people. You want to talk about noise ordinance, how many phone calls are going to come in, right? If you're in a very close-knit
None, because you can't have roosters. These are all the same lies, Kate.
So I just can't support it. I think we need to put it to rest, and I think we need to focus on the things that we can do moving forward, and just move on. Thank you. We've talked about.
Oh shit! I cut off the best part.
Incredible masterclass.
Hold on.
We've talked about it for years.
Mr. Chairman.
I think we just got to move on. We've been talking about it for years. Now, so I've watched this clip a couple times. So, I made the YouTube video. I did a little edit. We got some responses to come, and then we got like the payoff, which is the spat that occurs when Kate Toomeys basically tells on herself. But I find it very funny that Kate Toomeys cut herself off from saying we need to put this to bed and then said we need to put this to rest. Like there's a lot of psychology going on there. What was the hesitation with saying bed? And why do these, I'm never going to get an answer to that, but it's like, it's on the level of unserious where it's like that is, that's as serious an inquiry into that comment as anything that she said, like there was no substance in that at all. Just straight up classism. It does not take a lot of land to raise chickens. She's basically just saying middle and upper class people are more responsible than people who live in the inner city. A nice little code word there.
Yeah. That's the question you bring up is one that I hadn't even considered yet about the final choice of words. There's so much. There's so much in Kate's mind palace that I think we'll just sort of never understand. But yeah, I mean, there's the obvious stuff here is obvious. It's like Kate has not spent 1 second learning anything about urban chicken keeping that she didn't know on the first day that she ever heard about this concept, or the first time that a landlord or something explained to her why it was bad. These are all the same arguments that they were making. This has been kicking around the city for over 10 years. I was around the edges of one of the many chicken campaigns. I also knew people that just had them, because that's what happens when you don't pass an ordinance for over a decade. Some people just do what they're going to do. But yeah, you don't need a lot of land. It's not a sanitary issue any more than like people that have dogs are a sanitary issue. It's like any other kind of pet. You can't have roosters. That's the case in pretty much every city ordinance. They're the ones that make noise. And yeah, it's interesting when someone is bringing up the concerns of health when we're talking about an initiative that would allow us to have some community resilience in our food structure. It's also very funny to refer to it as a bread and butter issue, or not a bread and butter issue, when we're talking about food. But yeah. The big problem here, obviously, is this equity argument, and I can't let this go by without remembering to give a shout out, and I'll put a link to Giselle Rivera Flores's piece that she wrote in response to this specific issue. Yes, very good. There will be a link. You should read it in its entirety. But this section here really stuck out to me as a very good explanation of why this is not an acceptable way to approach this, or to have your response be what you are about to hear her response be. So now that I've butchered that, let me see if I can still read. The misuse of equity language can make exclusion sound reasonable. When someone says, this is not an equity issue, they're not automatically accusing anyone of racism. They may simply be correcting the use of a term that has real meaning. They may be pointing out that equity cannot be used as a reason to deny a community access to something that responds to a real barrier, harm, or need. Equity is not a way to say if everyone can't have it in the exact same way, then no one should have it at all. Equity asks us to look honestly at who is impacted, what barriers exist, and what fairness would actually require. But too often, instead of staying with that question, the conversation takes a sharp turn. The person whose argument was challenged responds as if the correction was a personal attack. They're implying I'm racist. In that moment, the focus shifts away from the community being discussed and onto the feelings of the person who feels accused. The issue is no longer whether equity was being used accurately. It is no longer whether a particular population has a specific need. It becomes a conversation about whether the person who misspoke feels judged, embarrassed, or misunderstood. And I felt like we really had to include that second paragraph because, folks, this may shock you, but that's what you're about to hear happen.
This is exactly what you're about to hear happen. And I'll save it for after the clip, but I got some like she was being racist. But anyway.
Yeah, she was being racist.
It's like, let's just say that. She was.
Yeah, and there are people in the room. There are certainly people in the audience, but there are two city councilors who speak after this, who speak in part from the experiences of their communities and of their ancestral communities, the places that their families come from.
Right.
And they talk about, like, yeah, in like most places in the world, people keep chickens. They keep chickens all over the place. They keep them at their house or their apartment.
So this next clip is from Louis Ojeda, getting up right after Kate Toomeys' weird satanic perversion of the term equity to, not do something equitable. And he says this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know. I was concerned of hearing it being equitable and needed acreage and stuff like we needed so much yard space. The reality is you don't need that much yard space. So I just want to make sure we understand that residents will be watching this and it doesn't. I don't think it matters your income or class you're in or whatever it may be. And I'm not saying this because I'm against it or for it, but let's not just say it's a. You have to fit in some type of category to be able to do this, and it's important that we get that out there and let residents know that it doesn't matter, you know, what economical status you're in, or what size yard you have or don't have. There's ways of making this happen. So I just want to make sure we understand that. To hear that it is a little bothersome because you kind of put people in a position where they feel as though because I don't have a certain yard space or I don't make enough money to do something like this, or because of where I live, is that's going to be an issue. Is there noise? Yes, but there's some people that have chickens and they're probably your neighbors you don't even know, because there is no noise depending on how it's taken care of. If there's not a rooster around, it's very quiet and you won't hear it if it's taken care of correctly. Again, I just want to make sure that we're not saying things that I feel as though that shouldn't be said, based on, again, economic status, where someone lives or whatever it may be, or again, the amount of space someone needs. That's all. Thank you.
Now, he makes a good point here with the weird way that Kate Toomey used the implication of yardage, because it goes a little bit beyond whether or not there's an adequate amount of yard space, which isn't true. Like, a chicken coop does not take up that much room. But second point, like, I actually have an unpublished story where I dug deep into this because I followed the rabbit hole down this guy who had a rooster who was fighting the health department, whatever. It's too much to get into.
Chicken Man.
Roostergate on 311. But in the course of that research, I learned that there are not very many big yards in Worcester. Even the nice houses don't have very big yards. Half-acre lots, like to have a full acre, let alone the 2 acres that would allow you to do sort of the urban farming thing as per some state ordinance that is boring and I don't want to talk about. There's not a lot of that. So Kate Toomey's talking about this yard thing as being the sort of the necessity to do this cleanly and healthily, but she's talking out of her ass, first of all, and second of all, it's like she was almost like reaching for like a non racist sounding qualifier for who in her mind would responsibly raise a chicken and who in her mind would irresponsibly raise a chicken. And you just gotta wonder who that person is that she's thinking of in both of those instances, right? Who is this person that would who is this person in the inner city who would raise chickens in a dirty way that spreads disease versus this other person of the upper or middle classes who wouldn't, right? I mean, it's just so obviously fucking racist.
Yeah, a really cool way that you can do that if you're a moron is to use class language instead of race language, which is exactly what she does. And she almost could have gotten away with it if she wasn't surrounded by a world of people who, unlike her, can see past their own noses and can actually like look around for a minute and use their thinking brain. And who has chickens around the world? Is it mostly rich people or is it mostly poorer people who are keeping backyard chickens? Chickens are not expensive. They're like really cheap. They eat fucking seeds. and they make you food. It is typically people who are trying to supplement a limited income who will raise their own chickens. It's not always the case. Some people do it because they enjoy it. Some people do it, to sell them, like whatever. But certainly, all you have to do is look at anywhere else in the world, including other parts of this country, to see that most of the people who are raising chickens, particularly in any sort of urban area, are actually people who are not wealthy. You don't need a lot of money to do it. It's a non-starter.
It's kind of a testament. I want to take a little broader view on this right now, to sort of like the mind corrosion of consumer capitalist society, because you're like, imagine a lower lord in a feudal time making the argument that only the landed can safely raise chickens, whereas the peasantry should not be allowed. Your ass would be a jester, dude. You would be fucking
right?
Dancing in front of the king. They would be like, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. And it's still the dumbest thing you could possibly say.
You're joking, but it's not funny.
So one of the things, whenever I watch Law & Order SVU, I kind of see it. A character observation I have about Kate Toomeys is that I do genuinely think she sees herself as Olivia Benson, and rationalizes all of her decisions and her sort of posturing and her need to kind of be the final say on things, to be like, this is obviously the way it is, because that's what Olivia Benson does in Law & Order SVU. And it's the most effective police propaganda ever made. So it doesn't surprise me that Kate Toomey would be so swallowed by it that she would embody it. So next time you see Kate Toomey talking at City Council, just like picture in your mind like how you would act if you were doing an Olivia Benson from Law & Order SVU impression. But and we're actually going to get a little bit of that in a couple minutes. But first, we're going to go to Christian King, who spoke after Louis Ojeda on this chicken thing.
Before you turn that on, give me 1 second. I just want to say what an astute observation I think that is. And I was thinking about this just earlier today as I was running through my head how we were going to fill this time. And a thought that occurred to me, it occurred to me in parallel with the fact that the Sheriff's Department payroll list came out this past week. Mm-hmm. Kate Toomey, for those who don't know, works for the Sheriff's Department. Big shocker there. But so I obviously I had looked up her salary immediately because I was like, oh, I wonder what she's getting paid to be over there. It's actually not very much, $72,000, which, pushing towards retirement. It's not nothing, but it's not, not a whole lot. If that's what you're getting in your, political patronage job, you should have aimed a little higher. But here's my point. So Kate Toomey has this job where she's a reentry specialist at the Sheriff's Department. So she works with people who are incarcerated, allegedly, to help them with their reentry. That's a job where, if you wanted to, you could kind of like really talk down to people in an authoritative but feeling kind to you sort of way. And there's not really much they're going to be able to do about it. Like, you need your reentry specialist if you want to get out. Mm-hmm. The job Kate Toomey did before this was working at Spectrum Health, which is a recovery provider, in a very similar sort of role. And that was kind of the thread that ran through that I was like, yeah, Kate has had a whole history of her political and work career life where she gets to be extremely dumb, and also the people that she is talking to, for the most part, probably don't really get to tell her that.
You know what that reminded me of so much was when I did back at in the Worcester magazine days. I'm going back years on this. Maureen Binienda is still superintendent. Now, Maureen Binienda and Kate Toomeys are cut from the same general cloth of Worcester person.
Mm-hmm.
But Kate Toomeys and Mary Mullaney, Aidan Kearney's mom, that is like the same, like almost extended family, right? And I wrote about this letter that Mary Mullaney sent Maureen Binienda about sex education, and
I remember this letter.
Paternalistic, patronistic, and fundamentally racist view on abortion and sex ed, and just this like rhetorical category that this class of people employs, where they use the term inner city to mean whatever it's very thin coding for what they actually mean. They're just talking about black and brown people. Now, I want to see how hard it is for me to find this letter. Mary Mullaney, Maureen Binienda. Because I would like to read a portion of it. Okay. Yes, I found it. You ready for this, Chris?
Absolutely.
Former school committee member Mary Mullaney, one of the key figures involved, is among those with both political influence and a moral opposition to comprehensive sex education. In an email to Binienda last September, Mullaney diagnosed what she saw as the real problem with what she called, quote, urban kids. Quote, 5 years from now, the situation will be the same or worse, because what is lacking here is strong families, good moral upbringing, fathers in homes, faith in a higher power. We put bandaids on huge problems and feel good that we are, quote, trying, Mullaney wrote to Binienda. You know better than anyone in Worcester because you are the real thing when it comes to urban kids, that these children are spiritually and psychologically impoverished, neglected, abused. They need love, guidance, support, alternatives to the crap they see around them. Condoms will not save their souls. I am not sure if they will even help their bodies, as they are too young to use them well. But I know for sure that condoms will not heal their souls or solve the loneliness in their hearts. That's a former school committee member in Worcester writing an email to the former, just 2 superintendents ago, who is the highest vote getter by a mile in the school committee election. A lot of people in this city are that fucking shitty and racist, right? like, and Kate Toomeys is from that stock. If I could be if I could be a little reverse racist towards my own people, because I am also a fucking townie, Irish American townie or whatever. There's a lot of people who think like that, and it was not even thinly behind the lines in what Kate Toomeys was saying. I mean, at least Mary Mullaney, say what you will about the tenets of American American Christian ethno-fascism. At least it's an ethos. Kate Toomeys is just like Well, Anthony Petroni said he doesn't like it, so I got to get up here and explain it all away.
Yeah, Mary Mullaney doesn't have the need to try to play both sides in such a way that you treat this like we can't do it because of DEI reasons, right? Mary Mullaney is not trying to say that it's an equity issue. She is trying to say, and I don't think you have to read between too many lines to pick this up. She is trying to say, if you give these black and brown kids, if you tell them what sex is, they're gonna be fucking all the time. They're gonna be fucking each other all day and night. But you got to give credit where credit's due. Condoms will not save their souls. That is a banger of a line.
Yeah, I mean, you can see where Aiden got his special little sauce, dude.
Yep.
It is sociologically fascinating to consider the link between the brand of journalism that Aidan Kearney pioneered and the anti-Planned Parenthood movement that Mary Mullaney embodies as sort of as a parent offspring relationship. It's very interesting, and it all comes back to just naked classism and pushing somebody else down to make yourself feel better. It's colonial. It's like just colonial. What am I trying to say? It's got colonialism baked into it. It's
yes.
Which is
colonialism, dominionism, a lot of isms.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Mary Mullaney hasn't had her brain ruined by consumer capitalism the way that Kate Toomeys has. So she gets to write banger lines like fucking condoms will not save their souls. Meanwhile, Kate Toomeys making like a John Oliver skit level argument about equity in chickens. Oh man. So let's hear what Christian King has to say.
Council King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to reiterate some of the things I had said previously. My family comes from the island of Bermuda. There's a lot of immigrants on this council. There's a number of folks that come from the islands. They come from other places. This is routine. And certainly Worcester is not Bermuda. So I say all that to say this, Mr. Chairman. Boston has an ordinance. And again, we're not Boston, but I hear a lot of we can't. We want to attract people. Well, this will attract people. It'll attract more people than it propels away from the city of Worcester. And in Boston, as Councilor Ojeda astutely stated, it doesn't take a whole lot of space. I also reject the exclamation of equity as an aspect of this. But in that ordinance in our capital in this state, it requires, a number of.
Mayor, I just rise. There were a couple of comments that.
Council Toomeys.
Oh, okay. So to set this up, this was as the conversation was winding down. A couple speakers later, you might have even forgotten, especially what King said, but maybe even what Louis Ojeda said, because they were pretty tame. It was pretty tame pushback, right? I mean, they were just like, I don't think we should talk about this like it's an equity issue. Like, say what you will about chickens, not an equity issue. That's all either of them said. This is how Kate Toomeys, apropos
and
nothing.
I thought the way.
Go ahead.
I thought the way that Louis said it, especially, was very conciliatory, very diplomatic, and also just like not address really at Kate, but just saying, I don't want the city council's position to be represented by comments saying that, you have to be of a certain like economic status or own a certain amount of land or whatever. to have chickens, because it's not true.
Yeah, that's it. Like when we're about to listen to is these are the only two things, Louis Ojeda's comments and Christian King's comments, that preceded it, and there's nothing else. There's no other soundbite that got cut that she could be referring to. She is referring to those two things when she says the following.
Implied that I had some bias and perhaps even implicated that I was racist with my comments.
Point of order, Mr.
That
Chairman.
has nothing to.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
That has nothing. Excuse
That's
me,
out
I'm
of order,
speaking.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman. That
speaking.
was never
I'm
stated. No
speaking.
one called this woman racist. No one called her biased.
Excuse
Hang
me.
on
Out
one
of
second.
order.
Hang on,
Requested
please,
that the
hang on.
chair rule her out of order, Mr. Chairman. That is out of order. It's a false statement. No one called her biased. No one called her racist. I'm asking you, Mr. Chairman.
No, I don't think,
to rule her
we
comments
already,
out of
move
order.
on. We are moving on, Kate.
Rule her comments out of order, Mr.
I
Chairman.
don't think that was
It's
his
out of
intention.
order.
No.
It was
It's out of order, Mr.
Was not
Chairman.
his intention.
I'm sorry, and I agree with Councilor King.
It's out
that-
of order,
the word
Mr. Chairman.
Council,
Nothing was implied in that way.
Lead the
Okay,
council,
please move
Mr.
on.
Chairman.
You can rewind
Lead
the
the
tape.
Do you have anything
council.
else you want to say,
Out
Councilor
of
Toomeys?
No,
believe
but
order.
I
that
just
word is
wanted to
actually
make
used
sure
right
that
now.
people
Thank
felt
you.
that that had
Out
nothing
of
to
order,
do with
Mr.
it.
Chairman.
We're good.
Out of
Okay,
order.
so the motion is to file. Roll call.
Councilors,
We're good.
Rule her out of order. And
What
Joe
may
just
not
goes,
come across as you. Yeah, we're good. King at the end saying, lead the council, lead the council. It's a thing that doesn't come across in the audio of this is as Mayor Petty is stopping the squabbling that's happening, as Kate is I'm talking, I'm speaking. It's a point of order. If you read Robert's rules, a point of order stops everything until the point of order is addressed. He's saying that what she's saying is out of order, which means she should stop saying it immediately. That's how that works. But Mayor Petty is looking directly at Kate and talking to her like she is 5 and being like, I don't think that's what they were saying. And it's just like, she is a child, and this is not the first or second or third time that she's done this. This is what she does, and it should be called out as what it is. And I'm glad that it was. I'm glad Louis was in the mix on it too.
Yeah, and I just think it's awesome. Like, there's so much that's fascinating about this from like a character perspective, but the way that she phrases the racist thing is like out of this world. I'm gonna play it one more time.
With my comments.
Point of order, Mr.
That has
Chairman.
nothing
Council Toomey.
implied that I had some bias and perhaps even implicated that I was racist with my comments.
Point of order, Mr.
That
Chairman.
has nothing to.
Point of order.
Implied, perhaps even that
She really
I
punctuates
was
that, doesn't she?
racist, which is like who she expected to be on her side by that point, right? Because she's the only one who said racist. Like, yeah, we're saying she was being racist. 5 days later, no one in that room said anything about that at all. And we're exercising our jester's privilege to tell the truth. But the way that she has to go and say it is like, my I'm not racist shirt has a lot of people asking questions already answered by my shirt.
Exactly. Yeah, you put it perfectly in the very title of this YouTube video that you helpfully made. No one called Kate Toomey racist, but Kate Toomey.
Yep. She was like,
There it is.
and she like cocks her head a little bit, like it hurts her to say this word. She goes, implied that I was even perhaps, and then recoils a little bit and goes, racist. She's reacting almost like it's a racial slur against a white person to say that they're racist. Which makes a lot of sense in the Condoms Will Not Save Their Souls cinematic universe, right? And perhaps that's who she was talking to when she got up to speak here. You know, the folks at home, the folks watching at the senior center, who are reliably going to agree with her that those new counselors are getting out of control, right? They might say something like that. They're being very divisive, one of Joe Petty's favorite words, which means the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. The way Joe Petty uses that, even though, he was able to explain to Kate Toomey like she was a child that they weren't being racist, he will throw around that divisive word that is the same thing. But whatever. He's mayor for life.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also, his resolution to this is also just so perfectly Joe Petty. There is this squabble happening. You've got Kate saying the things she's saying. She's recoiling in horror. She's got looks on her face as Councillor King is speaking that are impossible to describe. King is on Zoom yelling for the mayor to please do his job and rule out of order comments out of order. Lead the council, Mr. Mayor. And he just goes, all right, we're good. It's like, yeah, if the division between the council isn't being voiced for more than 1 second, then it's gone, right? Like, it's not there anymore. You solved the problem. Good job, Joe. Yeah, that's Joe Petty leadership right there.
It's remarkable how, far away from leadership instinct or characteristics, or let alone examples, Joe Petty is. He is constantly ducking any semblance of leadership. And then he's like, he really does put the weak in weak mayor. He wants the mayor to be as weak as possible. He really doesn't want to be called on to do anything. And it's working out great for him. We got budget coming up. Eric Batista's taking out a $40 million loan. That, I mean, it's going towards stuff that we need for the most part, besides the leaky roof at the police station, which, I thought you guys were tough, right? I thought cops were tough. Why do you need the new roof all of a sudden? But anyway, he stinks. And we're going to keep having Kate Toomey and Joe Petty for a long time. Different iterations of those kind of people, because this is the class of people who controls the city. They are all like this, and it's politically impenetrable, and they're all just as racist as Kate Toomey was being in this clip. And it's fascinating, dude, how conservative the city is, really, in a way that's hard to figure out. But we figured out a new one.
Yeah, it's very true, and it brings up a political fallacy that I think, thankfully, a lot of people are getting wiser to. But I remember, and I was a perpetrator of this myself, so I'm not above it. I mean, I am above it now, but I had to learn when people say, oh, well, when all these old people finally die and they can't vote anymore, then all the problems will be solved. And unfortunately, Worcester is a perfect example of this. These people are always building a farm team. There are 30 and 40-year-olds all over this city who are, homeowners, landlords, maybe not even. Maybe they don't even have that social stature, but they aspire to be this kind of person. And for as long as we will have the mindset to elect Joe Petty's and Kate Toomeys, there will be Joe Petty's and Kate Toomeys to elect. So that one simple trick is not going to get us out of this. We actually do have to do the work of mobilizing our side, making it bigger than their side, and winning politically, and putting this shit in the garbage where it belongs, because it will not do it to itself. This mentality, the class divide in this city is getting worse. It's not getting better. And so, that's what this is, with an obvious smattering of the racism that is always tied in with that kind of analysis or lack of analysis. But yeah, we gotta actually fix it. It's Kate Toomey, and I hope Kate and Joe live to be 100. I'd like to see them do it off the council, but I'm not wishing anything on either of them. But their shedding of their mortal coils whenever that happens. So they already shed their moral coils. That was a funny little misspeak. That will not solve the problem.
No, because we got Alex Guardiola and Mary Mullaney. I mean, not Mary Mullaney. That's a funny little Freudian slip right there. Not Mary Mullaney, the other Mary McCullough, the very different and not identical but younger person that is being cultivated, let's just say, by the mayor right now. And
yes, Molly McCullough.
Molly. Okay, yeah, it's these Irish M's. They're getting hard to keep straight. I'm sorry, that was a little racist.
No, I think that's. I have known. In your defense, Bill, I've known more than one Irish Mary or Irish Molly who went by both names. In some Irish families, those names are interchangeable.
Really?
So the person. Yes, I've known 3 separate Mollys or Marys whose parents and older relatives also called them Mary or either Mary or Molly interchangeably.
That. I've never heard of that before, but I like it because I think that whoever figured that one out is cursed by the same affliction that I have, where names are kind of hard. Names and faces are kind of hard. Chris, before we move on the matter of this, I have an image that I simply must show you. That is exactly what you're saying about the fallacy of, like the new generation wiping out the sins of the old generation politically. Let's see how I think I can share this. So someone sent this to me. And can you see it?
Yes, I can.
This is
oh my God.
Molly McCullough.
This is so cursed.
Molly McCullough and Alex Guardiola on Pelotons, and Jermaine Johnson in the background cheering them on. And it's a fundraiser for some fitness center. But it's like, this is what you're looking at. This is Joe Petty 2, 3, 4.0 right here. Yeah, I don't even know. There's no way to describe this image, but it is truly wretched. I'll have to put a link to like a Google Drive or something, so that people can see it. I don't want the image necessarily to be like in the body of the post, because I think that might be interpreted as more mean-spirited than what makes that document stunning is the people, not anything about like what they look like. But it's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's so great. It's got Jermaine Johnson in the middle, but he's not on a bike, and then it has a little explanatory blurb that says he'll be cheering us on.
Yeah. Right.
Also, it's a fundraiser for Fit Club, which had the very specific goal of helping Worcester youth with health or fitness. I'm gonna dig into this Fit Club thing.
Yeah,
but anyway,
who fucking knows?
it's probably great. It's probably very real and good.
Definitely. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, no, that was one of Jesus, Bill, you really threw me with that. That kind of bent my brain.
Yeah, I memory hold that until just now. The conversation dislodged it. I mean, I first saw it a few days ago, but I sort of laughed about it, then tucked it away, and now you get to share in the beauty of that. You gotta love Worcester, man. We're hopeless.
Yeah, I got to roll.
We're fucking doomed.
I got to roll for psychic damage.
It's a brainworm, dude. It'll catch up to you when you least expect it. You'll be like about to go to bed, and you'll be like, oh fuck, the spinathon team. Oh Jesus. Last thing you see before you die. Oh, Molly McCullough's spinathon team.
Yep.
Fuck. Oh man.
Yeah, incredible.
I think that's enough. That's enough meat for. What else we got? What else do we got?
I agree. This other thing I got, we can hold. It's going to be perennial. I'm afraid. So I have some dessert for the end, and it comes via one of my favorite and most reliable dessert for the end sources, which is Worcester Wonders.
Yes, I love.
Open
Wonders.
up my. Me too, and it's one of the few things they almost never paywall, which makes it easy on a Sunday morning when I'm being lazy. But I this one really got me thinking, actually, and I say it's dessert, but it's kind of a dark dessert, if I'm being honest, or at least I feel like it's kind of a dark dessert. This article is called Worcester County Wonders, the 2,000-year-old local still turning heads. And it is about a mummy.
No.
Named yeah. Oh, it gets better and better. It is about a mummy named Hekau. Don't ask. I mean, I don't speak Egyptian. It is about an Egyptian mummy that was displayed for a long time in the library at Holy Cross.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
So this mummy now lives at the Fitchburg Art Museum, which I didn't know they had. I'm gonna have to check it out at some point.
It's a nice art museum.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had one. But here's some quotes from the article, and this is kind of what got me. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting and zany. They used to have a mummy at Holy Cross, and then I got into the history of this a little bit more, and yeah, it really got me thinking. And all those thoughts were not bright, happy thoughts. So this is the mummy of a young girl. One of the things they talk about being so unique about this mummy is it's one of the smallest mummies known. It's a 3-foot mummy, so it's like a small child. The mummy of a young girl, wrapped in brown linen, decorated with beads, and enclosed in a small painted coffin, arrived at Holy Cross in 1896. The artifact was a gift from the Reverend Peter Skelly, who received it from a friend who worked at it as a museum official in Cairo. Gifting Egyptian artifacts such as mummies became quite trendy after 1822, when Jean-Francois Champollion deciphered the Rosetta Stone, prompting worldwide translations of hieroglyphics. Paired with the emergence of photography, the world suddenly became quite fascinated with Egypt, from, quote, a preoccupation into a mania. This is actually kind of two quotes. Let me finish this one. This is a quote from an expert in the field, whose name I'll get to. One of the reasons many religious colleges ended up with mummies, it was a really visible connection to the Bible, a connection to those building the pyramids, explained S.J. Wolf, an expert in the field and author of a book about mummies. I got to stop there and say, wrong.
Oh.
These people did not build the pyramids. Aliens built the pyramids. So unless you got aliens, it's not a connection to the pyramids in the way you think it is.
Open up that mummy is the fucking little dude from Mars Attacks.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna let people decide for themselves whether I actually believe aliens built the pyramids or not. The little girl was probably discovered in a cache, said Wolf, adding that mining vast grave sites became a huge business in the 1800s as the linen wrappings were stripped from bodies and sent to the U.S. to be recycled into paper.
Oh my God.
Someone would find a head or a foot and bring it home as a paperweight, she continued.
Shit.
But, bro, this got me thinking about a deep spiritual sickness that has existed in this country and really around the world since time immemorial. Why do we have so many fucking Egyptian people's bodies not in Egypt?
Yeah.
Like, why haven't we sent this back? It doesn't belong here.
Yeah. It's really, really grim. Like, just do a little thought experiment and think about if, like, Saudi Arabian princes were buying, like, the exhumed bodies of orphans from fucking Catholic cemeteries, right?
Yeah.
It's incredibly fucked up. It's fucked up. It really is. Why is this? Why is
And
this
it's
a
wild.
wonder? Why is it a wonder that we have an exhumed child, like that we got as a gift from someone who bought it from a mined grave site? What the fuck, dude?
Just like, hey, I got this really nice gift for you. It's a child's corpse.
We really have been.
It's.
I don't know. We've the machinations of dehumanizing this part of the world have run so deep, right? Like, this is the ancient Egypt is one of the first things that kids learn about history-wise, right? And it's all in a sort of framework in which the trade of child corpses is like fun and a wonder. It's cool. Look, we have a child corpse, right? It's, you know, they've been at it for a long time, making sure that we don't see these people as fully human.
Yeah, you know, the detail in there, and this was news to me, and the only reason I haven't looked further into its veracity yet is it was in the newspaper from an expert in Egyptology. But the fact that they were just emptying these mass grave sites and just pulling the linens off of bodies to send back here to recycle into fucking, I presume by paper they mean parchment. That is grim.
Yeah, that reminds me of
that's
like Israeli TikTok, right?
Yes, it sure is. Yeah, I just I got thinking about it, and it reminded me that one of the most fascinating things that I saw when I went to Rome is obviously Rome is a very old city. It's thousands of years old. There was an empire there, just as there was in Egypt. But Rome was a new empire when Egypt was about as old an empire as the Roman Empire is now. So when you walk around Rome, Rome's a crazy place, man. Go there if you ever get the chance. I'm glad I did. You're walking around like a modern city, and then there's just all these archaeological digs everywhere. And people talk about the Colosseum. The Colosseum's cool. Right across the street from the Colosseum is the Roman Forum. I thought that was way cooler because you were like walking through you're walking on the same like stone steps that like Caesar did and stuff. Anyway, I bring up Rome for a reason, and it's because anyone who's been to Rome will probably remember this. Maybe it stuck with you like it stuck with me, maybe it didn't. There are Egyptian obelisks in squares all over Rome. It is the centerpiece of many, many Roman squares, is an Egyptian obelisk that they stole from Egypt and brought to Rome. And it's like, man, people have been looting this fucking place forever.
That's crazy to think about.
They were looting the place in the Roman Empire. Yeah, they're everywhere. There's not like one or two. There's a ton of them.
That's so...
And
you know what I always think about, and this is definitely in the realm of ancient aliens type of stupid thoughts, but like, okay, so you are as far out from ancient Egypt from right now, right? So you're what, like 6,000 years in the future, something like that, something crazy.
Thereabouts, yeah.
There's not going to be any evidence of the internet at all left, right? It's just not going to.
6,000 years from now.
Yeah. It's just not going to make it.
Yeah.
So, it stands to reason that ancient Egypt could have had like emails and cell phones and shit.
It's true.
I like throwing that thought out there because I know it's ridiculous, but it's pretty cool to imagine, right? Like they were like texting and posting like videos and stuff. They had like some sort of electricity that we don't even know about. It's like better, cleaner, didn't require any fossil fuels at all. Probably pretty sick. It's just
I do like the idea. I'll break the ambiguity here and say that I don't actually believe that aliens made the pyramids, but I think it's really fun to think about what if aliens did. Like, what if aliens did come during the Egyptian times and gave them cell phones and gave them iPad, but they were like way cooler and did better stuff. And there wasn't subscription-based mobile games yet. It was like really, really cool, only cool games, only AAA game properties that aliens had. And they had the special space power and stuff. And they got those pyramids done in like a long weekend. And then Egypt fell apart and the aliens were just like, well, we tried. And then they just left and never come back.
These things aren't fun anymore.
Yeah. They come by, they check on us, they see how we're doing, and they're like, well, none of this looks as cool as ancient Egypt did, so we're out.
Yeah. We'll come back next time you guys build a pyramid. And they thought about it for a second when Bass Pro Shop went there, dude.
If aliens have been back, if they've been back, if they've been to Bass Pro Shop.
We gotta align all of the UFO sightings that are coming out in these congressional hearings that I've been a quarter paying attention to, and put them on the timeline with the construction of the Bass Pro Shop Pyramid, ninth wonder of the world. and see. Start connecting some dots with some red string. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the kind of research that I don't think is being done, and
No.
I don't think there's anyone better for the job than us.
You know what? I want to say on a serious note. Holy Cross is a wretched and evil institution. It is spiritually bankrupt, and it is a black mark on our city. And the fact that I hold all of those things to be true before I knew that they had a child corpse in their library for like a long time, as like an oddity to be displayed and consumed as a testament to their erudite grandeur. God, there is no better indication of that being a cursed hill, a cursed institution. I mean, for Christ's sakes, it was built on an Indian burial ground or something. But that statue, Chris, you've been to the Holy Cross campus.
Oh yes,
That statue outside of the library with the hand of Jesus and the spike going through it. That is one of the darkest, coolest heavy metal statues I have ever seen in my life. That is a statue that would be outside of the villain's house in a video game about fucking Satanists, right? That is, that's all you need to know. That place, that is the dark heart of evil in Worcester. I really do feel.
absolutely. And an interesting thing that I found out about Holy Cross several years ago. I don't know what they do. Somebody ought to heist that place. I mean, not me, obviously, but somebody. They also have an extensive collection of Rodin's statues.
What is that?
Like a lot of them. Rodin was a sculpture artist, like a very famous sculpture artist. And they have a bunch of his work. Like dozens of pieces, enough that they pulled them all together and did an exhibit. Which
is that the naked guys out
Rodin,
there?
Maybe. I don't know if all of the stuff that's there. I don't know if what you're talking about is Rodin, but yeah, look him up. You'll see. He's a big sculpture guy.
Yeah. Yeah, the hand might be one of them. Yeah, I think those naked guys are probably Rodin's.
I think so. That was kind of what he did. He, as a sculptor, was known for really being able to get I guess all good sculptors of that time, right? It was how lifelike can they make it? And Rodin was really good at kind of getting, motion or a spatial feel. He made his sculptures kind of feel like they were alive. But an interesting thing I learned about sculpture at that point is they don't just make he was a small business tyrant. Sculptors make a sculpture and then they make a bunch of that sculpture in good, better, best format. Some are smaller and made out of less precious metals. Some are bigger and made out of more precious metals, and they sell them
No shit.
He was That's why there's many versions of many of his sculptures. Is because that was the deal. You make a cool one, and then you just what's the word I'm looking for? You forge a bunch of copies of it.
Damn, that's awesome.
Forge like metal, not forge impersonate. But
right.
Yeah,
that's how he ended up with that Moses statue in the Worcester court. Actually, that's a paper mache. It's not a real statue.
Yeah, they wish that thing was made out of metal.
Yeah.
Since they found out it's a little less durable than that.
We haven't
talked
on the. I don't think we've talked on the podcast about my research into Freud's. Freud wrote about that statue at length, and Freud also condemned America to be hopeless after visiting Worcester for 3 weeks and never went back. So I think it's interesting that in our courthouse, we have that statue that Freud wrote about a lot, and not in a good way. and he decided to write America off after being here. We gotta do evil art tour of Worcester, dude.
Yep, that's another one we could put on the list. Yeah. It's always been very funny to me, since I learned that from you, that also Clark loves to talk about, like, oh, Freud came to visit here. There's a Freud statue on campus. It's like, yeah, Freud came to visit here and then was like, this place sucks, and then never came back.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think that's probably a good place to leave it for today.
Yeah, I got to take my dog out. So good as the place as any.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget about the live show on Friday, in which we are going to put on a serious production, unlike the production that you've just listened to. And
there will be no latency.
There will be no latency. The comedic timing that we have, we'll be able to do. Unlike the past couple of weeks have been especially bad. So make sure you call up Charter and tell them you're going to Starlink and get that discount, and get your tickets in the link in the description for the live show on Friday. And we will see you there.
Sounds wonderful. Good night, everybody.
All right. Yeah. Go walk your dog, man.
Okay, I'm gonna go walk the dog. But if you want, we can. I'll go through the document, and we can set up a time, maybe the next evening or two, or whatever, to go through it.
Yeah. Let's plan for tomorrow night. Just a quick, even if we're just texting and looking at the doc,
Sure. Yeah. Whatever works. Yep, that works for me.
All right, dude. Have a good night.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. You too. Bye.
In other news, the Prime Minister has been conjuring up the spirits of previous leaders for foreign policy advice.